gather in this, and not only this library, for once in 2 weeks, but now we do it even oftener because there are so many speakers who want to perform and deliver their speech, and that's why we even do it oftener, once a week, like we do it now. And before I would like to, before my invitation to the stage, our Toastmaster, I'd like to remind you to make your phones to the silent mode, so we would respect our today's speakers and not interrupt their speeches. And now I'd like to call here and invite here to the stage our Toastmaster, a beautiful Toastmaster. She came here from America, Holly Mashburn.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you. I didn't come recently from America. However, I'm looking forward to my summer vacation whenever I get to go back to the United States. I am a member of Moscow Free Speakers Toastmasters Club, and Julia invited me tonight to be your Toastmaster. And I really appreciate the invitation and allowing me to be here. I don't do Toastmaster very often. You have to have some creativity, and you have plenty of work to put into the role. And typically, you would find a meeting would have a theme. However, Julie and I had long discussions about, do I have to have a theme? I don't have a theme. I can't think of a theme. I'm just not creative enough. Therefore, I decided to do a different mode of Toastmaster, which you will find in some clubs. Tonight, I will be using introductions of the speakers as my role. I would like to next introduce our thought of the day, Paulina Vlasova. So great to have you, Paulina. It'll be great. You'll do great.
And I haven't prepared enough, but topic will be, it's great funny. It's my favorite theme of the last month, because I just surfed the Amazon, and I found one great book which makes me the most interesting person in the company, and least in 30 seconds. And the most I like in this book in English. And I want to share with you, I can't hold image, sorry. I need a desk for. Okay. Oh, that's not. I turn it on later. Okay. And this book is very useful because I'm very interested about every page which I write. And when it was the first time that I saw this book in Amazon, my face looked like something like this. What I see? What is it? And name of this book was How to Live with a Huge Penis. Meditation, affirmation, and tips. And I was very confused, like all of the public now, but I decided to buy it. And I have many pleasure and many good time with this book now. And every page is like art. It's genius. The authors told us that man with huge penis, which is called oh my god, it's imitation that caused the physical and psychological inconvenience, and this man totally suffered from harassment of other people. I suppose people who have not so big penis. And it seems so strange, but it's a really big book. And I read many comments about it. It's a very useful book. And I know many different things, and I really improve my English very fast. I know how to find a duck and why the ducks have a much more pickers than elephant, and why what does Churchill phrase mean? Speak softly but with a big stick in your hands, and also describe us that he mean not only a stick in hands, and many different things. And I really like an image in this book, and I decided to really recommend you surfing Amazons, because they have almost 15 pages in English about these different topics. And I suppose it can help many people read more books in English and improve their English more faster.
Thank you, Paulina. I was not expecting to hear about penises tonight. Or is it peni? I'm not sure. So that was very entertaining, like you said. And I had not thought of doing a book review as the thought of the day, but I think that's a brilliant idea. Thank you, I enjoyed that. Next, I'd like to introduce our timer, Natalia Tukavina.
Hello friends, my name is Natalia. I'm for the second time here and I'm really enjoying it. To tell you the truth, I always have problem with time, but anyway, today I'll be a timer. And let me explain what I will do. I will watch the time and will show you timing signals. Green one means that the person, the speaker has reached his minimum time limit for the speech. Yellow one means then the person had reached the particular point for the speech. And red one means that the person has reached the maximum time limit for the speech. And a very important remark: if the person after reaching his maximum time limit is still talking, after 30 seconds I will start applauding. So please don't be offended, it's really tough task for me, but I'll do my best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Natalia.
Before we continue, I forgot a little detail.
Okay.
I wanted to invite here on the stage all the guests who are here for the first time, our newcomers. Please come here to the stage, don't be afraid. Here. Yeah, I see you also first time here, right? You can also come here.
Now?
Yes, yes, now. And I'm gonna have one question for you. Please come here. What is your name and why are you here? I will show you an example. My name is Julia and I'm here because I want to improve my public speaking skills.
Hello, my name is Tatiana and I'm here to improve my English speaking skills.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Lena. I'm first time here. My English is not so good, and I'd like experience. Is
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So I hope that you will find it here 100%. So I pass the word to our Toastmaster colleague.
Yes.
I am trying to think. I believe tonight, this is not my first time visiting WorldSurfers. However, it's the first time that I've had a speaking role. I can also answer the why am I here at Toastmasters question. I have been working on overcoming my public speaking fear, and I am still scared to come on stage. I've been in Toastmasters for 5 years. It's gotten so much better. So watch, I'm not even shaking. So it's gotten so much better. If you're wondering why a native English speaker would come to a Toastmasters meeting, typically that's what you would find. So that's why I'm here. We're now going to start with the best part of tonight. We're going to start with our prepared speeches. Alexander Kamnev is our first speaker tonight, and his evaluator is Julia Milanova. Thank you, Julia. Alexander has a degree in technical science and has realized as a professional he needs to understand the mechanics of public speaking. There's no better or safer place to get the experience than here. He has been in the club for a month and he has chosen the innovative planning pathway. He will be presenting his icebreaker tonight entitled, Why I Decided to Join the Toastmaster Club. The purpose of this project is to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Please help me welcome Alexander with Why I Decided to Join the Toastmaster Club.
My notes, just in case. Hello everyone, my name is Alex and I would like to tell you my personal story why I decided to join Toastmasters Club. Recently I faced several situations where at job where I needed to give public speeches in front of big audience and I felt lack of confidence in my presentation skills. Since I have technical background, I decided to find out the root cause of this problem and I asked my colleagues with great presentation skills, at least from my point of view, to understand the reason. So what do you think was the answer? They all have background presenting on stage. It could be comedy clubs, it could be theaters or different debate clubs, or it may be individual, it may be a successful career in individual sports, for example, martial arts, skis, boxing, and etc. Of course, you could say that people with innate talents, they are more easily get on stage to show their talents, to show their idea to other people, or they have better results in individual sports than focus of audience is focused on them. But I thought maybe it also works vice versa. Then you spend a lot of time preparing and you put huge efforts on stage and working on mistakes after presentations. It could lead to success. And under success, I mean ability to prepare interesting speech and ability to deliver or to sell your idea to the audience. After I looked in my past and I started from school because my conscious life started there. Conscious life, I mean life where I had my own decisions, and I was very active in sport there, but it was always team kind of sport. Basketball, volleyball, football. We visited a lot of cities in Moscow region, participating in different competitions. And team kind of sport, they help you to understand your team better, to understand your partners, to achieve common goals. But sometimes I felt lack of personality, lack of standout. It was difficult to understand. It was you who lead to success or it was team who lead to success, and you just spend time there. On the other hand, in individual sports, you are only one person you could count on, and you can make compliments to yourself in case of success, or you can blame yourself in case of any failure. So it helps to grow your self-discipline, it helps to grow your self-confidence. That's why I decided in my individual development plan to be active in individual sport now, but it is topic of another speech. And also I decided to be active in and practice public speaking as much as possible. So I am here because of this. That's all.
Thank you, Alex. Great job. I think we can all identify with what Alex was saying, especially for me. I was thinking about how I continue my growth as a public speaker, and I hope that one day that I would be able to give a speech in front of an audience that was not my friendly Toastmasters, and I continue my developing just like Alex. Thank you, Alex. Our second speaker, oh, excuse me, sorry. Thank you for the reminder, Deanna. Take 1 minute, please, and give an evaluation for Alex's speech. You can use your iPhone and open your camera with a QR code, and it should automatically take you to the form. You can also type in the link on your phone. Thank you. I hope you've had time to put in your evaluation of Alex's speech. Our second speaker is Natalia Bakanova. Her evaluator is Deanna Alzubi. Thank you, Deanna. Natalia has her master's degree in management from Moscow State University at Lomonosov. She has a background working with top FMCG companies, which deal with brand marketing for companies such as Coke, Mondelez, and Jacobs Coffee. She currently works as an independent marketing and strategy consultant. Natalia has been a member of Toastmasters since the end of 2017 and has given over 10 speeches. She holds the title of DL1 as she is working from the dynamic leadership pathway. Tonight, Natalia will share a bit of her own experience with mentorship and her role as a protege. She will give her Level 2 Project 3 speech entitled, Why to be a Protege. This project introduces the value of mentorship and the Toastmasters' view of mentors and proteges. The purpose of the project is to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. Natalia has to present a 5 to 7 minute speech about a time when she was a protege and share the impact and importance of having a mentor. Help me welcome Natalia with Why to be a Protege.
Yeah, good evening. Oh, well, why to be a protege? Actually, please raise your hands who knows who is protege. Oh,
quite a few here. Just definition of protégé in the framework of this Toastmasters. Protégé is just simply or mentee. This is someone who is learning from mentor. So there is a mentor, there is a protégé. To answer this question, why to be a protégé, I recalled some stories from my life when I was a protégé and trying to understand what was the value of mentor in these particular cases. And the first story was when I was in the beginning of my career as a marketer, and my mentor was my boss. And actually it was like on this picture, I was really green and unexperienced, and this boss, he was very mature and knew everything. And she did a great job as a mentor and helped me to grow in my understanding, because first of all, what I value most of all from this experience is first, she gave me very challenging tasks, which are beyond my current expertise. For example, she could ask me, please give your vision about this portfolio strategy or this communication strategy. It was not on my level at the moment, but just asking me the questions like, higher, it developed me and developed my thinking, it developed my understanding of myself. And secondly, what I value from a partnership with her, it was that she always supported me when it was difficult situations or conflicts or anything. When I expressed my opinion and someone was against, she supported me and somehow even defended. And the last but not the least, which was her great value as a mentor, she instilled trust into myself. She can say that, oh, I am sure that you can do this task much better than anybody else in our department, so please go ahead, or just go and make a speech on that meeting, because I know that you can. So it was a great experience, and why to become a protégé in this case? It was clear. I wanted to develop as a professional, and she helped me to grow, and without her it would be not as effective as with her. And second situation which I recalled, I have already was accomplished marketer, and I was invited for a marketing strategist role in a charity project. And I was leading the marketing part, and but I understood that I have a gap in expertise as a fundraiser. And so this is another time when I became a kind of mentee and asked some girl who had a great background as a fundraiser for WWF. This is Wildlife Fund. So everybody this. And she was a fundraiser here. She had great expertise, and she mentored me. And it was a kind of strategic partnership, because she was interested in this project from the marketing perspective. What else? What new ideas can she learn from this project? And for me, it was kind of to grow my expertise as a fundraiser. And the last situation I would like to share with you, when I was a protégé, it was just in life, and my mentor was my friend, and the situation was that I was struggling to learn how to be disciplined, and that friend, she, in my opinion, she was very well in this field because she was quite accomplished management consultant, and she had a degree in sports as a basketball player, and she became my mentor. She recommended me some literature about how to grow this aspect, and I developed from not enough to the best, like it's shown here on this picture. So, to sum it up, why to become a protégé? My conclusion is that it's not only in the beginning of your career when you're green and you have like huge opportunity to grow. There is always an opportunity to learn and to find a mentor who knows better than you, and it can allow you quickly gain expertise or to develop qualities that others has. So, to be protégé, it's a kind of state of mind. It's about always learning and readiness to learn, and openness to the new. So, the question to you is, and do you answer to this question, why to be protégé? Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. I'm reflecting on my experience with being a mentor and a mentee, and even as a mentor, we learn from our protégés, from our mentees. So it's always a good relationship and a balanced relationship to learn, to give, and to take. And I have fond memories of being mentees and mentors. If you would please get your phones ready. Let's do a quick minute evaluation of our second speaker, Natalia. I'd like to point out that after our break in a little while, that we will be having a table topic session, and everyone from the audience will be invited to participate in table topics, so everyone gets a chance to speak tonight. Our third speaker tonight is Ksenia Roskova. Her evaluator is Maria Kalinkina. Thank you, Maria. Ksenia has been in Toastmasters since February and is presenting her third speech total and her second level 1 speech in the dynamic leadership pathway on evaluation and feedback. She will be telling her point of view that the point of life is to be happy. This evening's speech is entitled Happiness. This project addresses the skills needed to give and receive feedback. The speaker will learn about giving, receiving, and applying feedback. The purpose of the project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Yes, please, welcome. Welcome, take your seat. You choose any topic for your first 5 to 7 minute speech. After your speech, you carefully review your feedback, and at a different club meeting, you present a 5 to 7 minute speech in which you incorporate the feedback either with the same speech or with a different speech. Your second speech should reflect some of or all of the feedback from your first speech. And finally, after you've completed both speeches, you will serve as an evaluator at a club meeting and deliver constructive feedback about another member's presentation. Please help me welcome Ksenia with Happiness. Welcome, Ksenia.
Today my speech will be devoted to the most desirable thing in our life, happiness. In the morning scrolling vacant news, I came across with a statement. People are never happy with their lives. Yes, they want the house as a neighbor's one, the salary as a boss's one, and the wife as a friend's one. So they are in constant purchase of all these things, and only in the end of their life they understand that happiness is not in these things. So this statement made me to think about what is happiness for people and how to achieve happiness. Today I will speak about understanding of happiness, my own point of view on this. In my opinion, happiness has two different meanings, the broad one and the narrow one. Firstly, let's speak about the broad one meaning. All our life can be relatively divided into several spheres of life. It's health, love, family, which in most cases coincides with love, friendship, and the sphere of self-realization. People are happy when everything is going really well in every sphere of their life. So, to be happy, they need to be healthy. They are happy when their relatives are healthy, and when they have favorable relationship with them, when they have enough money to live a decent life, and they have certain purposes, and some of them have already been achieved. But the most important thing is to keep balance between all these spheres of life. And it's also vital to be in harmony with outside world. So, have you achieved all these things? I hope yes, but there are still some other people who haven't yet, and neither am I. Some time ago, my friend asked me if you are happy, and thinking for a while, I answered yes, I am happy. But why, if I haven't achieved all these things mentioned? The answer is interesting and really simple. It's really important to get pleasure from everything you do in your life, from everything you do, achieve all these things. So, the first conclusion I've made out of this is that happiness is not a constant state, it's not the possession of something. Happiness is the process and its action. So, dreaming, striving, acting can really make you happy. Just get pleasure from your doing to achieve all your goals and things that you want. Get pleasure from earning money for your house. Get pleasure from dating with your partner with whom you are going to set up a family. Get pleasure from many other things, from communicating and playing games with your new friends. So we gradually came to the second meaning of happiness, the narrow one. Happiness is not something constant, it's your state of mind and it's your attitude to different things. So happiness is inside you. Happiness doesn't depend on the opinion of other people. Happiness is out of fashion, it's out of trend. And it's a quite wrong stereotype to believe that to be happy you need, for example, a flat in the center of Moscow or to drive a luxury car. Happiness is inside you. So just concentrate on things from which you can get pleasure. Remember how wonderful you felt after a long race and when you saw the rainbow and looked at the fresh sky. Okay, it's a banal example, but there is another one. You felt from sleep deprivation, and after you slept long and soundly, you wake up really cheerful, and so you're happy. So get pleasure from simple things, as I have already said. Remember how you felt when you just talk to your friends over a cup of tea, or admired a beautiful sunset by the sea. These simple things really give you power to do great deals. And remember that in any case, you can achieve happiness in its both senses. The narrow one, achieving what you want, achieving all luxury things and some others. And to be happy in the narrow one sense, getting pleasure from everything you can get it. Thank you.
And thank you. Ksenia has brought up some important ideas that we need to really reflect on every day. The simple things in life, and that happiness is a process. We should keep these things in mind. Thank you, Ksenia. Please take a minute and give an evaluation. Give feedback to Ksenia on how she did. Give her a few words. Thank you. Our fourth speaker tonight is Deanna Alzube. Her evaluator is Kate Leptiva. Thank you, Kate. Deanna is a business development manager, and she has been a member of Toastmasters for 3 years. She has earned her competent communicator and presentation mastery level 4. She has served on the WorldSurfers executive committee for 1.5 years, and she was the 2019 Winter Conference organizer. 2019? 2018. I just volunteered you for 2019. There you go. Tonight she will be sharing about her leadership experience with Toastmasters. She is completing her 14th Pathway project, leading in volunteer organizations. This is a level 5 speech from the Presentation Mastery Pathway. The title of her speech is The Best Decision of My Life. This project is designed to give you an opportunity to share your experience at the end of your path. The purpose of this project is to reflect on your growth during the completion of an entire path. At a club meeting, you present your speech and share your experience through completing your path. You reflect on how far you've come, summarize the skills you've learned and developed, and celebrate your achievements. Your speech can be humorous, informational, or any style that appeals to you and supports your speech content. Help me welcome Deanna with The Best Decision of My Life.
Thank you, Holly. Thanks. Remember some of the most important decisions that you've taken in your life? Was the educational path that you've chosen? Or was it the yes you said to that job offer? Or was it the yes you said to your loved one? that back then, I wasn't feeling confident when I asked anybody for anything. I wasn't feeling confident to persuade somebody, to tell them to join somewhere. And I must be honest with you, I was really bad at persuading people. I could not do it. But what to do? I've already said yes. I have to do it. So I started talking to newcomers before the meeting, on the meeting, after the meeting. I've even made this thing like a, what's it called, CRM, that the salesmen have, how many times you contacted a person. So I made an Excel to tick. So I contacted this person 2 or 3 times after the meeting. Enough for now. I'll contact him again. And little by little, I realized that that fear of asking for something has vanished. I started to notice that my Facebook friends list is escalating. I noticed that newcomers or new members are joining the club. And I loved it. I loved it. And now I could persuade people, and I enjoyed doing it. I did not feel like an annoying salesman. So when I was about to relax this happy moment, because I'm finally enjoying it, not spending too much time on it, I was about to go on my holiday actually. And at the airport, I hear a call from Anton. Hey Diana, so are you enjoying your role? I'm like, yeah, I like it. Great, because I have another role just for you. You will be a great president of the club. While I was still thinking about it and thinking of all the yeses and nos, and I was thinking how to say no politely, next thing he says, oh, and by the way, all our committee are leaving Russia. You are the only choice. Great. Thanks, Ante, for not leaving me a choice. So on my holiday, I spent my time reading the instructions, so what does the president do? I quite liked it, because officially it says that it is the person who is not involved in everyday running of the club. It is the person who sets the vision and keeps the team together. I thought I could do that. Until the reality hit me when I became the president. Because as a president, at some point, you get involved in every single role in the committee. Now, before I continue, I'd like to ask you whether you know about the roles. So we have VPM. Do you know what M stands for? We just said it.
Membership.
Memberships, that's right. We also have a VPE. Any ideas?
Education.
Vice President of Education, that's right. So that's the person who is responsible for members' growth. VPO, we only have it at WorldSurfers. Any ideas? Oh. Vice President of Operations, that's right. So it is the person who keeps the meetings organized, who finds the main roles, prints the agendas. He's not with us today. And finally, VPPR, ideas?
Public relations.
Public relations, that's right. Responsible for marketing. And president, the vision. So what happened is that we got an amazing team. It was a wonderful team. However, 2 months into our term, and we lose the VPE. One of the most important roles at the club, Vice President of Education. And we tried to distribute the responsibilities a little bit, but at the end of the day, there was no one person who was responsible for the real progress of the members. So who does it? The president does, of course. Now, I want you to tell you honestly that before joining Toastmasters, I thought of myself, of my personality, as a person who is a high achiever, very ambitious, but also a bit selfish, and also heartless. And it's not something I told myself, it's something I heard from others. from the close people. And trust me, it hurts when you hear somebody close to you say that. But I accepted it as a truth and lived with it. Okay, yeah, maybe I will achieve a lot, maybe people won't really like me. Okay, I will live with that. But this role, sorry, yeah, it was all about the opposite. It was not about my success. It was about the success of others, the success of all my members. So I started contacting the members, asking about their goals, helping them with all I could, encouraging them. And after some time, magic happened. I started to hear comments about myself. Diana, you're so friendly, supportive, kind. First, I didn't pay attention to it because at Toastmasters we're all nice, we all say nice things to each other, you know that. But later when I heard it repeatedly, and later when I heard it from the closest person to me, from my boyfriend, now that made me tear. That was the lesson I learned. That all I thought about my personality was different. So the two lessons I learned for the rest of my life from Toastmasters is A, you can achieve anything if you ask, but you need to ask first. And B, that if you take care of success of others, you will succeed yourself too. Now, there are different types of jobs. Interesting and exciting jobs, and those that suck up your life. There are jobs where you see progress day by day, and you love it. And those where you're stuck for years, and you see no results. And Toastmasters is neither. Toastmasters is not a job. I didn't get a single ruble out of it. However, what I got was much bigger, and something I would not get out of 5 years at my job, or even 10. That's why I'm confident to say that it was one of the best decisions of my life. Here I end my speech. However, I have an important announcement. An exciting time is coming. Because, not for me, but for you guys. Because my term and my committee term is finishing. Which means in June. Which means that we have 4 golden roles available. So, Vice President of Membership, Vice President of Education, Vice President of Public Relations, and Vice President of Operations. And you have leaflets, like you have handouts somewhere around that tell you what are the roles about and what they can give you. Overall, the first 3, they're about networking. So you get the soft skills. You learn how to persuade people. You learn how to be a good communicator. Vice President of Marketing, well, you become better at marketing. And what's cool about Toastmasters is all we do is that we learn by doing. So a person who has no idea about social media, we just give him all our channels and say, just do it. Of course, we give our guidance. But then he's free to do anything he wants with that information. And that's why, in 1 year, people see the progress they don't see for years at other places. So, would you like to go on a crazy journey that could literally transform your life? Everyone, now myself, I have, as I told you earlier, it changed my personality. But there are also other people, other examples who've extracted something for their own, outside of these things I told you about. For instance, I know a guy who got employed at Google because he had that leadership experience at Toastmasters in his CV. Literally, the HR told him that this is why you stood out, and that's why we took you. Now he transferred to Google's London office. I know another guy who, when he came to Toastmasters, he was so unsure when he was talking. He was so unconfident, especially when he was speaking to girls, especially. So I left the country for 1 year. I came back, and when I saw him, I was shocked, because in front of me there was a man. There was a manager. I couldn't believe that was the same person. That's after one big leadership role he got at Toastmasters. After that, he quit Toastmasters and started focusing on his work, and he got promoted very quickly. Or I also know others who found the love of their lives in the committees and got married. So every journey is unique to each of us. And it will be unique to each of you. So are you thinking about it? If you would like to take that year that will literally change your life, approach me in the break. I'll see how I can help. Thank you.
I mentioned earlier that I've been in Toastmasters for 5 years. I've held the role of secretary. I've held the role of VPE this year. And this next year, I'm running for president of Moscow Free Speakers.
Woo!
So vote for me if you're in Moscow Free Speakers. Should we take a minute and do your evaluation?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's take 1 minute for Deanna's evaluation. And while we're doing her evaluation, I'd like to kindly remind you that we take 100 ruble or more donations for our tea break to pay for our goodies that we have back there. So if you would please, don't mind if you can, to give a donation for the Cake Master. Okay, let's take a break for how many minutes are we breaking for? 10. For about 10 minutes. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Thank you, everyone. Yes, please. That would be wonderful. You're the best timer. Oh, thank you. It's right there. The donation box. Follow the donation box. Are you supposed to be Russian?
No, I was supposed to be here, but I went to Russia. And I was very surprised yet that they won't speak English. So looks like there's half of it.
между прочим.
Looks like to be as
In the second half of the this is your first time.
Oh, guys, so we have food over there. So it's a time to stand up and go there. And we're going there, we'll show an example.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that'd be great. You'll enjoy that.
Are you sure?
I will bet you 100 rubles.
No, okay. That's it.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And there is a sign-up sheet, so we can get your contact information, so we will be able to stay in touch with you.
So it's not very complicated.
This is a special extra meeting. We're meeting every week, so it kind of helps everyone have an opportunity to get their speeches.
No, I'm not just
Yes.
over here.
So it may seem however, it's because it's such a big club they had to go to more than twice a week, twice a month.
I think better option for my future travels, because when you visit some country, for example, when I was in Rome in Italy, we stayed in the flat with all the design of a flat in traditional Italian style, and I like it most because you feel like you're in this country, you feel the traditions, how people live. When you stay in the hotel, especially if it is international chain like Hilton, like Radisson, they all the same, and you don't remember if you were in Japan or you were in Mallorca, everything is the same. Maybe some hotels are different, some hotels are in traditional styles, but it's much better to stay in flats and to feel their culture, because you can bring this feeling home and you can share your experience and your thoughts with your friends, your relatives. So I prefer second one.
Cool. Thank you. Who's going to be the next one? Question given by
But you are not giving the
Yes.
topic. It's
Yes.
just you come and you don't know what you are talking about.
Yes,
Huh?
it's like Russian roulette. That's interesting. Well, the question for you is, what would you prefer and why, to go to cruise or to join a tour? And by the way, what's your name?
My name is Tanya.
And
Actually, I like both, but I thought about to go to cruise because I haven't ever been to cruises. That's why for me it's very interesting. But I have a friend, Alexandra, who is working in cruises every year, every summer. She's working with foreigners as a translator, and she said to me that sometimes it could be exhausting. That's why. But as a tourist, for me, to go to cruise is better.
cool. Thank you. Who's going to be the next one?
I can try. If I have nothing to say, somebody will help me.
Okay. And your name is?
Luba.
You're correct? Okay, so the question for you is this one.
Oh,
What would you
sunbathing and
prefer?
skiing. I think both are very exciting, and for some people, these may take their breath away. But for me, nothing is acceptable now. I did a lot of swimming, maybe, but sunbathing have never been my cup of tea. Skiing, I did only some amateur skiing, and mountain skiing have always been my dream, but I have never done it in my life. I would like to try it, but you should get a very smooth slope, and I'm not quite sure I could make it.
Thank you so much. Which one is the next one? Okay. Okay.
Полина.
Alina. Skiing. And Alina. Let's see what's here for you. What would you prefer while traveling? Hotel or couch surfing?
Couch surfing, of course. Because I hate hotels, and I have two main reasons. You never see the natural living in this town. It's also very boring, and the most important reason that because I hate hotels, you can't cook in it. You can't even make your own tea or something like this, and you're very stuck in this little room, and it's very expensive, of course. And couch surfing, you can meet different interesting people, which can give you excursion and introduce you in this culture. You can make new friends, and you can know something more about this town and country, and of course it's amazing. Hotel, it's always about business trip, I suppose.
Who's next? I saw the hand in the next row. Okay, Maria, please.
Wow.
Yeah, this question's
Where do you go? So, good evening, everybody. My name is Maria, and I prefer Solovetsky Island. Definitely. So, Alaska sounds pretty not the same, but I've been in Bali, so I really enjoy it. It was really cool. But I'm a fan of skiing, so as I know, I can do it in Alaska. And there are some resorts, so I prefer in this way Alaska. And of course I know the main rule for skiing and for places with snow, not to eat yellow snow. It is main rule for skiing and snowboarding. So also I'm well prepared. In this case I prefer the first one, Alaska. Thank you so much.
Who's next? Okay. What is your name? Daniel. 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 Okay. Question for you. Do you know what this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, well, actually, I use both of them. So if I have to choose, it depends on the way that if I have to go to a long distance or a short distance. For me, BlaBlaCar is a really good option because you can share your experience with the people that you are traveling with, or you can just sleep, because I have many experiences when I was using it. I used it for travels around 5 hours or something like that, and it was something that is really entertaining because the people that you are with, they are doing something different that you are doing, so you can learn about them. And that's something really interesting. And for me in the train, I don't have that experience, but I love the trains and the sightseeing that you have from the train. So for me, it's also like a really good way to a good way of transport. Like it's really fast and really efficient because you can just arrive to the point that you are at the center of the city, from the center to of the city to the other city. So it's really good experience with me with the trains. And if I have to choose one of them, I think I will use the train because it's more reliable. But for me, the BlaBlaCar is also a really nice experience, and I highly recommend you to use it as a community that you can use to transport. Also, it's ecological in that way. So that's all.
And the last question goes to Kate. Yep. Question for you.
To catch a cab or to use taxi applications? Oh, I'm a fan of taxi applications. Whenever I have a chance to not to talk to people, I know I'm a vice president of membership, but I prefer to do everything online. There were also restaurants devised in New York where you do not even need to interact with any people while ordering. For example, they don't have waitresses there. You can just come inside. There are no people there. You can take your own booth so no people are surrounding you. Order in the menu via the tablet, and a sliding automated like a table will bring your ordered food. So I think it's artificial intelligence is coming in our way, and I'm a milquetoast, so I'm a very shy person. It's very hard for me to catch a cab. I always prefer to do it online, and I'm a fan of Uber actually, because Uber has a worldwide range cars like everywhere in the world. But in Moscow, we usually take any available cars. So, thank you.
So we run out of questions, and we have here a list of our today's speakers, and I encourage you to vote for the best table topic speaker. Now I'll show you the link. You already refreshed it? Okay, so the link. Please follow this link and vote for the best table topic speaker. And in the end, we will give something to the winner. And I invite here to the stage our Toastmaster. Sorry, I was gonna. It's okay.
That was a wonderful table topic session, Julia. Thank you so much. Next, we will move to the evaluation portion of the evening. I'd like to welcome to the stage our general evaluator. And I'm sorry, Mr. General Evaluator, I don't see your name.
It's a mistake.
My fault, sorry.
Good evening, dear Toastmaster members, dear guests. Today I'm evaluating a whole meeting, and I have a team who helped me to evaluate the meeting, and I will invite them one by one, and I will start from evaluators of each speaker, and I will start from Julia Milovanova, personal evaluator of Alexander Kamlin. Welcome her from the stage.
Dear Alexander, dear guests, your first project, Icebreaker, and your goal was to tell us something more about yourself so we could know you better. And I think that we really knew something new about you, and you reached your goal. And I'd like to give you some constructive feedback. First, I would like to tell you something that you excelled with. Then I will tell you something that you could improve. And in the end of my speech, I'd like to give you some recommendations. So, I'd like to start that it was a really good idea of your speech to start with a personal story, because it really engages the audience to your speech, and we're starting create some pictures in our minds. And it was a really good story. You have really good spoken English, and I'd like to note that you didn't even use any of notes, because sometimes people who perform for the first time, they use some for help, some how to say, some notes and so on. And also manage to choose your positions on the stage slightly, not much, but still you tried to change the positions, which is really good. And what about what would be improved? During your future speeches that you will deliver, try to use more stage. You can change your positions even more and go to maybe even to the audience and backwards from it. And I'd like you to recommend you to not look often to the floor, because this way you just lose the contact with your audience. So it's better to watch to eyes of your audience. And also I forgot to tell that you also used gestures, which is really good. You didn't stay like this. You used your hand, which was really natural and confident of you. About another thing to improve is to your vocal variety. But in all, you was really good at delivering speech. I'd like to wish you to continue in the same manner, because it is a perfect start of yours, and I'm sure that you will be really good and you will excel at it at public speaking. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I liked the evaluation from Juve because it was well structured. She showed a lot of examples and gave good suggestions to Alexander, and I hope he will implement it and become a better speaker. I want to invite to the stage the second evaluator, Diana Azubi, personal evaluator of Natalia Bakanova.
Natalia, first of all, I would like to say well done, because compared to the last speech I saw, I felt that you were more confident in this one. So well done for that. I think the stage practice helped. You started confidently. Also, you met the objectives, and it was kind of hard because her project, it gave her the topic already. She couldn't speak about anything she wants, so that makes it harder. And you organized your speech pretty well, the 3 parts: introduction, conclusion. Now, I'd like to focus on the things I think you should be improving, and not only in this speech and all your speeches before. I think something that you lack is the attention-grabbing techniques used to get people's attention. So today, for instance, what I noticed is that overall you knew your speech. You memorized it well. Okay, you know what you're talking about. But at the end of the points, like, you kept on forgetting the end of your points, and I did not understand why. Maybe because forget in a sense that, so you say everything smoothly, and then suddenly at the end you start I don't know why. Maybe because you didn't memorize it so well. Maybe I noticed at the same time you would be approaching the slides, and so maybe that kind of distracts you. Slides, so what's next, and then you don't continue the point like in a confident manner. So that's something to work on, and you know best the reason why that happens. Okay, and apart from that, I think the key thing, if you focus on, that will transform all your future presentations, is your vocal variety. I would like you to note down these things, actually. So, the speed, the pauses, intonation, and volume. Yeah? I'm not saying that you were talking quietly or something, but what you didn't do, you didn't change any of that. It was all constant. The volume was constant. The speed was constant. And I guess that's the only thing that's, like, that's one thing that you change that will change everything. So my suggestion for you is to record yourself when you're doing the speeches, not necessarily the whole speech, maybe even reading a book. Record yourself and just hear for yourself. Are you changing your voice? If that's not helping, I can recommend you courses. I can recommend you people who fix that. But I think you can fix it by yourself. But it will take practice. I wish you best of luck in your future presentations. Thank you so much.
Diana, very good evaluator, because she not only evaluated today's Natalia's speech, she also remembered her previous speeches, and I think that Natalia was lucky today, because it's not always possible that somebody will remember your previous speeches and compare them one-to-one. And Diana gave a lot of interesting examples, and her evaluation was well structured. I want to invite to the stage the next evaluator of Ksenia Rashkova. It's Maria Kalinkina.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, dear Toastmasters, dear guests, dear Ksyusha, dear Ksenia. Let me congratulate you with your third project that you did, and let me thank you for the interesting topics that you shared with us. Happiness. Sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes it's a decision. So I really enjoyed your presentation and the way how you showed us your vision on this interesting and complicated thing. Your English level is very well, and I saw very well prepared presentation, full of great phrases like people can be seldom happy with their life as their need, the house as neighbors one, wife as friends one, salary as a boss one. Happiness is not the possession, you told us. It's not a possession of something. It's a process. It is an action, you told us. But Ksenia, like your personal relator, unfortunately, I couldn't believe in it. Do you know why? Any ideas?
I was unemotional.
Because exactly you don't believe in it. You prepared a great speech, as I told you, full of great thoughts, great phrases, great vision. But delivering the explanation of that thoughts, I felt doubts about yourself, that you don't believe in it. Presentation, it is about energy. Presentation, it is about confidence. Presentation, it is entertainment with auditory, and you told us about happiness, and of course firstly you have to show us your happiness. Where was your smile, Ksyusha? Where was your positive energy to the auditory? The topic was very well prepared, and as I told you, you did your best. But for your future presentations, I really recommend you put more colors, be more confident, relax, and keep on. Wish you good luck.
May I add just about her speech? I had a feeling that the speech was very impressive, but the girl was somehow asking for hints how to get this happiness. Maybe she is not quite sure she is getting it herself, and she needed maybe somehow some support.
Yes.
She's not aware of this.
You could tell her after.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Maria, thank you very much for your evaluation. It was good with some examples, but I think you gave more very broad. Some of your ideas was very broad. You have to be more confident. Maybe you have to show and some specific examples where you see that she's not confident. You said that you have to be more bright and also no. There was an example about smile, and that's the only example. And that's all. Which could I say? And I want to invite to the stage Kate Lapteva, personal evaluator of Diana Alzina.
Everybody agrees that Diana is a virtuoso of public speaking. it's so hard to evaluate her, and not only her, but the ones who deliver brilliant speeches. I'm gonna first start with the things that I like the most. Diana. Everybody felt like they're in the theater. Raise your hands. I felt like I'm in the theater because her confidence, her use of the stage, her body language, first of all, her representation of like when she stood on one knee is just dazzling. The second one, usually Diana is accused of this, but this time I congratulate her on vocal variety, using her vocal variety. All the pauses, all the high pitch, low pitch, brilliant. The third one is using stories from her life, the examples of the Google guy who, for example, used his Toastmasters experience in CV and got the job in London in Google, excuse me. And the fourth one is clear call to action. If you need Diana, if you need any questions, approach her, she will answer. Call to action is to become Vice President of Membership, Operations, to become one of the committee. Amazing. But obviously I'm required, I must find a fly in the ointment. And these are the follows. The first one is take control of the slides, because you confused one slide went further than your actual speech, and then you get back and said, oh, sorry, like distracting. And the second one is the pauses were great, but sometimes they were too long, and they were used very often, like, now I want to tell you, etc., etc. So take care of the long pauses. And overall, the speech was jaw-dropping, amazing, and very, very inspirational and motivating everyone. Thank you very much, Diana. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think everybody would agree that Kate is a brilliant evaluator as Diana's speaker, and I'm as a member of committee could say that working with Diana is a real pleasure, and I don't I've never regret that I joined that committee. So we are continuing to the second part of evaluation session, and it would be minor roles. First minor role was thought of the day. It was from Paulina. It was very provocative, and I read rules of Toastmasters, and it was on the edge. I think that you have to next time choose it more carefully, and maybe not.
Be calm. It's only one book in my library.
I suppose that not everyone understood your humor, and be next time more careful. The next minor role is timer. I invite to the stage
Natalia.
Natalia, and with your report on how everybody
Thank you very much. What can I say about timing? I enjoyed being a timer, and it really helped me to feel the time, how it really goes fast when you speak. So everybody was very attentive to my signals. Thank you very much for that. So I didn't really need to remind to anyone anything, and I think the system is very convenient with these different colors and signals. So everybody was more or less in time, except Diana, of course, but we all noticed that. So thank you very much one more time.
Natalia, thank you very much for your report. I noticed only one thing. Where you once, maybe it was a few times, but once you showed the red light right after the green one. You didn't show the yellow one on the table topic session.
Yeah, but yellow one isn't in the table topic session.
It's supposed. No, maybe it's yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And the next role which I'm going to relate, it's a table topic by Yulia Milovanova. I think it was very good. We see that she was very prepared. It was interesting, and she encouraged to take part newcomers, and she supports them, asked different questions, commented, and I think it's a good example of table topic session as it should be done. And the next, it's Toastmasters by Holly, and there are a few things which I want to change, maybe. You don't have a theme, and I think I'm the person which affected more than others, because I'm VP of PR and I should write some posts about it, and I asked a few times, is there really no theme, because it's first time when I'm in our club with no theme. I think theme could provide some interesting thoughts, and no, it's more interesting when you have theme of the meeting. Despite that, your Toastmasters was good, but no, it could add some colors to the whole role. You made good introductions and told a goal of everyone's speech, but probably sometimes it was too long when the goal is long and you read a whole explanation. I think it's maybe somehow could be shortened, and that's all which I want to say. And my relation. Yeah, I want to invite to the stage who? Toastmaster? No, President. Organizers today meeting. Yes, Yulia Milovanova.
Thank you, Arthur, for your presentation for today's meeting. And we have some announcement for today. One member of WorldSurfers has completed his first project, Icebreaker, and we want to give him a ribbon. Yes, Alexander, please come. Thank you.
Don't punch, Julia.
And also, we have a member of WorldSurfers who has completed the second level. It is Natalia Bakanova. Please, come to the stage. Finally, our president of WorldSurfers, Diana Azubi, has completed. Can you imagine the educational program Pathways? This was her last project of Pathways. Impressive. Diana, please come to the stage. Woo! Finally! I want to give her something sweet. This is from Kate.
Oh, that's one for WorldSurfers.
Thank you. And Kate, please come to the stage to tell something.
I just want to congratulate Diana. Is very supersonic in acquiring her in the journey of pathways, and we should all learn from Diana. Super excited.
Diana really motivate us. As a president and as a Toastmaster, you really motivate us. You believe in us too a lot, and we want to grow even more higher and higher, and become better and better speaker. Thank you so much. And we want to give the ribbons to the best table topic speaker. Was it today?
Nobody knows.
Ta-dam, 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 brrrr. Who's this?
Make some noise!
It is Andrew.
Andrew.
Great.
Andrew, congratulations.
Thank you.
Take this ribbon and we make it for
Oh, really?
Yeah, you take it and yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was rather unexpected.
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 And
Yes.
go to the waiter.
I didn't announce.
Okay. So I have another announcement for you today. The next meeting is going to be on the 7th of May in another library in Astranka on Taganskaya metro station. And another announcement from our today's Toastmaster, Holly Mashburn. She has a new work, Toastmaster Club, Anglo-American School, and she is really invite you to go to her school. The next meeting is on May the 24th at 4 p.m. For some questions, please contact Holly. Holly, show this. So we have completed our today's meeting. It was really interesting speeches, evaluations. So see you next time, next week. Bye bye.